everybody, welcome back to Dinner and a Tip. We have made it through Christmas and now New Year's is coming and football games are coming, so it's time to talk appetizers. So I'm going to give you a 2-for-1 appetizer today. We're going to do potato skins, but what do you do with the leftover potato stuff you take out? Well, we're going to show you how to make potato patties. First, we're going to go ahead and start with some bacon. Starting the end of the year great by dropping stuff. 5-second rule. So we're gonna get our bacon cooking first. And I actually like to kind of chop my bacon up in like bigger chunks right away and just cook it on the grill this way versus trying to smash up hot bacon after the fact. And I'm actually gonna do a little bit of green onions. So if you don't know what green onions are, we're going to use this part for here when we're cooking and this part when we garnish. I just assume everybody knows everything about cooking, but it's amazing how much you actually take for granted when you have been cooking all of your life. There's so many people that are just starting and don't know some of the basics. So try to include the basics here. So we're going to cook our onions and our bacon together. So next what I did is I actually did baked potatoes. I did these in the oven, 400 degrees for about 45-50 minutes. So they're going to come out. I just rinse them and put a little bit of salt on these. And so when we're cutting them, I actually have the knife this time. So instead, you want to cut this way. You don't want to cut the flat part. You want to get the most meat out of the potato. So you're just going to cut down straight, and you want these to be cool. They don't have to be smoking hot out. So again, you're going to cut it so you get the most meat part, and then we're going to go ahead and scrape these out. What I like best about making the potato skins from home is like when you get them in the market or in like the frozen section, they pretty much scrape literally everything out. To me, I like to have a little bit more meat inside mine, but that's a personal preference, and they don't ever seem to be really seasoned. So we're going to go ahead and season these potatoes before we go ahead and load all the goodness in them. So, and I love this appetizer because you're getting 2 for 1. I love making this one ahead of time, and that way I can go ahead, throw them in the refrigerator or the freezer, and then just air fry them. It's hard when you're having a party if you're the one that's out cooking the entire time. And you are the ones that miss out on all of the fun. So, let's get these seasoned. So for my seasoning, I'm going to start with some garlic. I'm going to hit it with some pepper. And you can pretty much do whatever seasonings you want for these, but I just actually like to have a little bit more flavor and taste into mine. So we did salt. Can't forget the salt. And then the other thing I'm going to do is a Parmesan Ranch. This is a Blackstone seasoning that I actually really enjoy using. And don't be afraid to actually use the seasoning on these guys. So we got our bacon just about done. So we're going to go ahead and oil. Did I forget the oil? Nope. Oil is down. So I'm going to go ahead and throw a little oil down on these first. And what I'm going to do is I am going to grill. What am I going to do? Actually, I'm going to go the meat side down first for these. And basically, it's hard to give you an exact recipe on this one because it depends on how many potatoes you're going to be using. The nice thing is if you don't use all of these, you can certainly go ahead and freeze them if they don't get all eaten, and then just air fry them later on. So, alright, we got a nice crunch on our bacon, which is what we're looking for, and the onions. If you don't like the onions, don't throw it in. And now that this is cooked, I'm actually just going to throw a little bit of minced garlic in these. These are actually going to be really well flavored potato skins, which I know the other ones don't come with garlic either, but when you make it from home, you have the luxury of adding all the awesomeness to it. So next up, let's go ahead. So this is just the shredded potatoes that we have. I'm gonna go ahead and crack 1 egg in here. And then I'm gonna do some shredded and some mozzarella cheese in this one. Feel free to add or subtract whatever you want, switch up your cheeses. This would actually be really great with like a jalapeno cheese if you like a little spice. All right, and then just do a little salt and a little pepper, a little garlic salt, and then we're gonna make these patties. But we're gonna go check on our potatoes real quick. So, and I love that you're getting a little bit of that char from the grill, which you normally wouldn't be getting otherwise. So I'm gonna go ahead and just put down a little bit of more oil. I'm gonna cook these guys this way. And I don't mind that they're hanging out in that bacon grease either. So next for these guys, we are gonna go ahead and throw our cheese in so our cheese has time to melt before we add our bacon. We're also, hang with me, we're gonna do a seasoned sour cream that you can add unless you want to just keep it plain, that's fine, but alright. And because I have some mozzarella out here, we're gonna do a 2 cheese on these guys. So all right, so these I've actually put a little bit on the bottom so these guys are warm. So I don't want these to keep cooking and burning, so we have our, oh my god, I still call it a cookie drying rack. Cooling rack? Cooling rack. We'll just call it a cooling rack. So we're going to move our potatoes over here. And then we're going to go ahead and cover these, throw a little steam so we can get all of the cheese melted. And how you're going to steam these, I'm going to pull this bacon off before I overcook our bacon. Alright, so simple water, dome, whether you have like a baking sheet, whatever you can to get these covered is all you got to do. Alright, so we're going to turn this down, and we got our cheese, we have our egg. The egg is what's going to kind of help bind our potato cakes together. You could, if you don't have gloves, you could just put this in like a mixer, stand mixer, and it would be fine. Apparently gloves are too complicated for some people sometimes. You could actually go ahead and throw some minced garlic in these potato cakes if you wanted. So, and actually I did these potato cakes last week for Christmas, and I was so delighted how wonderful they turned out. Oh, and you know what else you're going to put in these? Some of that bacon and onion. So these are loaded baked potato cakes is what these are now. So, and we're gonna go ahead and just make these into little patties. You can do bigger ones if you would like, but so we're gonna go ahead and do this. And you know what? I thought I was doing good. I forgot. We're gonna actually, you could probably fry these straight up, but actually, I think last time I did them with a little bit of panko on them to get it a little bit more of the crispy, crunchy part. So go ahead and make these first. And I'm gonna go ahead and grab some panko, and we're gonna dip these in panko, and then since these are already cooked, basically we're just looking for a nice crunchy edge on these. So we have those. I'll be right back. Alright, so we got our Italian panko. I like the Italian seasoning just because it's a little extra seasoning. And I'm just gonna go ahead, the panko on these. And since these are wet, the panko's just gonna go ahead and stick to them. So I just stick them on a plate, kind of press them down a little bit. And we are gonna be ready to go. You could do these even if you're not doing the potato skins. You could take leftover mashed potatoes and do these with mashed potatoes is actually another great option. So, all right, for these guys, let's go ahead and throw some oil down. And even if these are hitting into the bacon grease, again, no problems. Okay, I'm just gonna hit them and flatten them out a little bit. And I would cook these on high. I turned my grill down a little bit, and I can definitely tell that. All right. Get these guys on there. Basically, we're just cooking these till we get a little crisp on it. And next, let's go ahead and make that sour cream sauce. So, not bring out a bowl for that. Just, I'd say my New Year's resolution should be not to forget anything, but, well, we all know me, that wouldn't happen. So we're just gonna do some sour cream. And this is gonna be to taste. I'm doing probably 2 tablespoons of sour cream to 1 tablespoon of mayo. I've got some Sriracha sauce, just a little bit is what I'm gonna go with here. I'm gonna go ahead and throw a little bit of minced garlic in. And just I'm gonna do that powdered ranch and Parmesan. Just a little salt and pepper is all we need. Give that a quick mix. Oh, so excited. I love this dip with the sour cream. All right, we're gonna give our little patties a flip here. And those are toasting up amazing. You can see, look at the color on those. I'm like, and that panko is what's gonna give it that extra crunch. So let's make sure our potatoes are nicely melted over here. Or not our potatoes, our skins are melted. So now we're just gonna go through and hit these with some of the bacon and the onions. And then we'll go ahead and get a little sauce on these. Gonna go ahead and drizzle a little bit. So how I like to actually do them if I'm pre-serving these is I actually just put it in like a small Ziploc bag, cut an end, and then just pipe it in. That way I think it looks a little bit nicer. So now with these ones, I definitely need to put a little bit more oil down because of the panko. It wasn't getting as crispy as I would like. So if they look dry, just throw a little bit more oil down on them, and that's going to help get these crisped up. So, yep. All right. So let's go ahead and do the chives or the green onions. So again, this part we actually put in here. So if you're doing this, just take and just cut them really, really thin. That's a good way to kind of like decorate your food and just give it a little pops of color. All right, let's go ahead and give this one a try. Oh my God. With the sour cream mixture, this is beyond better than any potato skins that you're gonna get. I love the grill. When you grill the tops of them, it gives an extra little crunch. These potato cakes are looking amazing. And you can make these as big as small as you want. When I'm doing parties, I actually kind of like to do them a little bit smaller. That way I think everybody can get some and you don't want to be limited on what you can have. So even with these potato skins, you know, in the restaurants you get the really huge ones. I actually prefer to do them smaller. I think it's a little easier for people to have at a party. All right, let's try our cakes. You know, the panko makes a huge difference on this. Holds everything together, gives a nice good crunch. It's a great opportunity to throw extra flavors in when you want. Thank you for subscribing. We'll see you next time. Eat happy.